Okay, so how do you stop illegal parking on private land? In this video, I'm going to go through all of the solutions. So some of the problems that illegal parking causes. One, it means there's no parking spaces for your customers, staff, or visitors, which can harm your business revenue and your reputation. You receive less money from your pay and display car park because people are parking there for free. The safety concerns, illegal activity could be happening on your property because you're not monitoring it. And the litter problems as well, and the fly tipping problems because you're not monitoring it. You could attract that type of behaviour towards your property too, and the inconvenience of just not being able to park where you want to park. So what is illegal parking? Illegal parking is a term used for public roads. On private land, the correct term is unauthorised parking. There's not much of a difference between the two except the type of land. Illegal parking on private land is where someone parks their car on property that isn't a public space without the correct authorization. So if you don't obtain the correct authorization from the private land or car park owner, you're technically parking illegally. So how can you prevent this? There's a number of solutions, and we're going to go through each one and discuss the pros and cons. So a bit of a background about us. Our team has over 20 years experience in the parking industry. We've got a wide variety of clients throughout the UK and have dealt with all the different types of parking problems, and we've helped solve these effectively for our clients, helping them to improve their business. Okay, so the first option, you've got a barrier system. Now, what are the pros and cons? The pros, it ensures zero unauthorized parking at all times, and it's the only solution that will ensure that. And it doesn't require a full member of staff to manage. However, the cons, it's very expensive to install and maintain. It's prone to vandalism, which means you're going to have to pay to get it repaired sometimes. And it's prone to technical issues, so you need to work with a reliable company who can come out and fix it on time. Because if your barrier system goes down, then it can disable your entire car park, causing you to lose money or having a bad impact on your business. Now, in summary, it's good for people who absolutely require the zero unauthorized parking at all times, and if they have the funds to be able to spend on maintaining that system and getting it installed. So can you call the police? Unfortunately, parking on private land, it's a civil matter and the police just can't get involved. Can you wheel clamp? Although it's a very effective method, it's no longer legal to do in the UK. So the use of no parking signs. The pros, it's cheap and easy to set up, and it will reduce unauthorised parking for a short amount of time. However, with no enforcement to back it up, with no consequence for parking there, people start to realise, and it's slowly the parking abuse comes back. So in summary, it's a good method if you've only got a few spaces and you don't have that much of parking abuse. However, it won't stop it for long. Now, the next one is car parking enforcement. Some of the pros, penalty charge notices act as a very good deterrent. People don't want to pay a parking fine, so it will stop most people from abusing your car park. And if you use a parking enforcement company, it's free as well. They'll provide the service for free, and it can be automated with ANPR cameras, which makes it non-confrontational, helping your reputation, and it makes it more effective because it captures all the unauthorized parking on your site. However, the cons, it won't completely eliminate parking abuse, but from what we saw in the past with our clients, it can reduce, in most cases, up to about 90%. And if you want to do it yourself, another con, it's very hard to set up by yourself if you don't want to use a parking company. There's a lot to learn and a lot to do. In summary, it's the cheapest and most effective solution if you use a parking company. However, learning to get the accreditations and do it yourself is a long process for most. So how do you issue penalty charges yourself legally? First, you need to be accredited by one of the following: the International Parking Community or the British Parking Association. You'll then need to follow their guidelines and learn all the procedures about how to legally issue penalty charge notices. So once you're qualified and you're accredited, you need to know, and you know the correct procedures, you need to do the following. You need to create and audit your site on the IPC or BPA, whichever you chose. Install and create the correct signage for your site, then follow the procedures to issue penalty charge notices. So you can issue, once you're accredited, you can issue for the following: unpaid parking, parking without authorization, incorrect use of parking bays like disabled bays, child and parent, and emergency spaces, and also parking outside of marked bays. However, make sure you have these terms and conditions on your signage. The downside of doing it yourself, The accreditations of the IPC and BPA both cost money, and there's a lot to learn on the process. So you've got to learn about the legalities and how to issue parking charges and how to do it correctly. Plus, you need a lot of free admin time to issue tickets and respond to appeals and complaints and take payments. And if you don't follow the correct rules and procedures, then there can be legal consequences. Are penalty charges enforceable? So they're enforceable under the following. If the landowner is able to show that there was a contract between the driver and the landowner to park on the premises, and that contract was broken, the landowner has clear signs that there will be penalties for parking on the land without prior authorization, showing that entering the driver was trespassing. So basically, in simple terms, the signs, when you set up your site, act as a contract. So when drivers see the signs and read the signs, they're consenting to that contractual agreement of parking on your land. So if you want the parking ticket to be enforceable, it must have the following information. It needs the time and date of the parking charge was issued, how much the parking charge costs, when and how the parking offence happened. You need photographic evidence. It doesn't have to be on the parking charge if you issue it manually. However, there needs to be evidence that they were parked there. It needs to have a discount if they pay before it's 14 days old. And it needs to have the information on who should pay it and how the payments should be made, and also have arrangements for any appeals, disputes or complaints on there as well. So the pros of outsourcing your parking enforcement: the parking company will already have the accreditations of the IPC or BPA or both. Most of them have dedicated staff to handle any of the legalities and the admin. They'll patrol and issue parking charges for you, so you don't have to. You won't need to spend admin time managing your car park. They'll have more experience with car parks than you, so they'll be able to guide you on the best route and the best solution for your car park. The liability, which is a big one, the liability for issuing parking charges will be on the parking company's end. So if anything goes wrong, it's all down to them and it keeps you off the hook. And they understand the laws such as the Protection of Freedoms Act, which is called POFA, and they can install ANPR cameras to make your site more efficient. Some of the cons of outsourcing your parking enforcement: if you choose the wrong company, so you won't have full control over your site. They might damage your company reputation. They could create more admin for your business, and you might not have the most efficient setup, and they might not accept any cancellation requests. However, what we do as a company and what other good parking companies do is the following. They'll give you guidance on the best path for your car park and the best solution instead of forcing you down a path. They'll keep your reputation intact. They'll understand the reputation is the most important thing in business, so they'll do whatever they can to keep your company and their company's reputation intact and the best it can be. They'll take away as much admin as possible. They'll handle the complaints and all the legal requirements for you. They'll deal with cancellations fairly on a case-by-case basis. So if you've got a very big customer who's just made a simple mistake and wants a cancellation, they'll do that for you. And they'll install the most efficient system for you, and it will be free of charge. If a company ever asks you money to set up parking enforcement, don't use that company. It should be provided free of charge. So if you need any extra help or guidance, if you're watching this video on YouTube, follow the link in the description to contact us. Or if you're on the website watching the video, click the button below this video to contact us for a free consultation, and we'll be happy to help. So I hope this video helped. Thank you for watching.